If you want to experience true wealth, freedom, abundance, and to be able to live your best life, then you must heal your shadow self. What is your shadow self? Well, it's those parts of yourself that you reject because you feel that they're shameful or unlovable or unacceptable. And those judgments and perceptions are caused through the experiences that you've had that have caused you pain or trauma. So basically, the shadow self is those unhealed parts of yourself that have experienced pain or trauma throughout your life. And this causes things like anger, jealousy, shame, and all these negative low vibration responses or reactions to things in your life. And these unhealed parts of ourselves, the shadow self, show up in a multiple of ways. And one of those ways is that it will sabotage you from being able to achieve the life that you truly want. Why would it do that? Well, the subconscious mind is programmed to do one of two things. It's designed to keep you safe and to prove you right. So when you have actually made a limiting decision based on an experience that you've had, then your subconscious mind, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, okay? So say, for instance, when you were a child, you had to give a presentation at school. Okay, and you stood up in the front of the class and you stuffed it up. Maybe you weren't prepared, maybe you got stage fright, but it didn't go all that well. And the children laughed at you or humiliated you, and you felt all this shame. You felt, and you made these decisions that I'm not good enough, I'm never going to put myself in that position again. So you shy away from putting yourself in a position where you could be judged harshly, you could be criticized, you could be humiliated, and this sets in as a very specific fear. What does your subconscious mind do then? Well, it avoids those kinds of experiences, and if you ever are in that kind of experience, it's highly likely that unless you have done some work on healing this shadow self, or unless you have some awareness around this, something will happen, or you will have the perception that it will just reinforce that belief that being in front of people or being in the limelight will cause more pain and humiliation and reinforce the I'm not good enough belief that you have already created from that young experience. So it's this vicious cycle that keeps going until you heal that part of yourself. So your success, your wealth, you being able to live your best life and achieve the goals and dreams that you want, it's highly likely that if you're not making significant progress, that your shadow self is holding you back. So what do you do about it? Well, you know I love EFT tapping, and there are lots of other really amazing techniques out there that are so powerful that are going to help you to release your emotional attachment to those experiences. You can't change those previous experiences, but you can reframe them as an older person, because here's the thing, as a child, when you experienced that thing, right, and you made those decisions, it was based on a limited amount of data. Now, as an adult, you could look back on that experience and go, okay, well, I was absolutely terrified and my brain just went blank. So what was I terrified of? I could work on that fear. Maybe I wasn't well enough prepared. Maybe the kids were just really mean, and the way that they expressed themselves was to target me, because let's face it, kids can be cruel. So once you process and heal that aspect of yourself, and as I said, it is your emotional attachment to that experience that's a problem. Because the experience happened and you can't change the experience, you can actually shift that negative emotional attachment and the decision that you made as a result of that experience. So you can create a whole new experience for yourself in future once you release your emotional attachment and deal with the trauma and that shadow part of yourself to create new possibilities, new experiences, to feel more confident, more self-assured when you put yourself in that situation. And then you can take action like better preparation. doing things like exposing yourself to those kinds of environments that are safe before you jump off the deep end and put yourself in front of 10,000 people who may or may not be receptive to your message or the way you present or whatever it else. So you just have these little experiences and you create safe environments where people are supportive and they will give you constructive feedback that is kind and helpful rather than judging you, criticizing you, and humiliating you. Okay? Sounds fair, doesn't it? So think of your shadow self as like a hidden operating system within your subconscious mind that is actually a protection mechanism. And it's caused by childhood trauma. It's caused by limiting beliefs that you have adopted from parts of your culture, from what you've been exposed to with your family. It may have been handed down generation after generation because we are a product of our environment. It could be that you were punished for expressing yourself and using your gifts and traits as a child that were seen by the adults in the room as inappropriate, or maybe the timing was inappropriate, or something whereby you were just expressing yourself and who you truly are, and somebody made you feel bad for that. And then there comes this disease to please. So you just want to be accepted, you just want to be loved, so you will push down those gifts, those talents, and those true parts of yourself just so you can fit into the box, and hopefully so you don't get wounded again. So this is your wounded self that is then expressing itself in the world and repressing your true self. And that is not the way that you live your best life and create a life of fulfillment and passion and excitement and wealth and abundance and freedom, that you get to live life on your terms. And when these aspects of yourself aren't healed, they just keep perpetuating this vicious cycle, and they show up in ways of like self-sabotage. You actually have these big, bold, grand goals, but somehow, some way, you will find a way to self-sabotage because you don't think it's safe. You'll probably attract experiences that just reinforce the belief. So you kind of attract what you haven't healed about yourself. So maybe you keep attracting toxic relationships. Maybe you had a toxic relationship with your father or your brothers or some other male figure in your life if you're a female, or could be a male. And you keep attracting the same kind of relationships. Why? Because that part of you wants to be healed, and in order to be healed, it will keep reinforcing the experience to go, you need to heal this part of yourself. Until you heal that part of yourself, you will keep repeating that terrible, awful, painful cycle. Because you condemn that part of yourself that isn't healed, that feels that sense of shame or rejection or self-doubt, lack of self-confidence, you will then judge others for what is not acknowledged and not healed within you. It's a typical thing that we do is, as within, we project onto others, and then we judge and criticize others for what is not healed within us. It can also show up as a fear of not enough or being too much. So we modify ourselves and our behavior in order to be accepted and approved by others, because we all want to be accepted and approved, don't we? So you could also have chronic internal conflict. That means that you have these big, grand goals and dreams and you want to go for them so badly. And there's this other part of you that's got its feet firmly planted on the brakes going, no, it's not safe, we can't go there. So you've got this push me, pull you kind of situation whereby you want to go forward, but there's just this unhealed part of yourself, the shadow self, that's going, no, we're not doing that, we're not doing that. And we lose control of our future and our ability to create the life that we want because of these unhealed parts of ourselves. So what do you need to do about it? Well, true empowerment is about integrating and healing those shadow parts of yourself. It's not about ignoring them and pretending they don't exist. It's about meeting them with courage and compassion and being willing to do the inner work so you can heal those parts of yourself so that they no longer command, run, and dictate the feelings that you have, the actions that you take, and the results that you achieve. Ultimately, you will no longer have to run or hide from those parts of yourself. You can reclaim the disowned power, passion, and potential. You create coherence between your inner world and your outer actions. And you rise in a state of authenticity and emotional freedom. This is living from your true self, from your whole self. It isn't about fixing anything. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. But it is about integrating all of you. It is about returning wholeness to your emotional and mental system, so you can come from a place of true power, of true authenticity, to be able to create the life that you truly desire and deserve. So you're no longer sabotaging yourself and holding yourself back and operating from this place that's, it's not safe, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it. They are the things that are the shadow self. So as I've said, you know I love EFT tapping, and if you're not part of the Wealth Consciousness Movement community yet, then you can get dozens of EFT tapping videos that will help you to heal these shadow parts of yourself. There are many other methods out there that are very effective. My go-to is EFT tapping because it's simple, it's fast, you can do it yourself, you don't need somebody else to facilitate it. It's just actually identifying what those shadow parts of yourself are that will help you to understand what it is that you need to heal. And then with something like EFT tapping, you can heal really, really fast. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is the sacred guardian of your deepest healing and greatest transformation. It holds the keys to those parts of yourself you must reclaim to become who you were born to be. Integrating and healing the shadow self opens up the path to unshakable self-worth, self-belief, and self-confidence, so you can be who you were meant to be in the world. Soul-aligned success that is uninhibited, where you go from strength to strength and you build the life that you desire and deserve. Authentic leadership, so you can show up in the world in a way that commands that kind of attention and respect that will help you to build a soul-aligned business that feeds your soul. It also helps you to achieve a deep sense of inner peace, whereby you know who you are, you know where you're going, and you know that you are infinitely powerful and you have the power to achieve it. So if you truly want to achieve the wealth, the success, the freedom that you are truly capable of, because you are infinitely powerful and you have the ability to achieve anything you put your mind to, but you must heal the shadow self. Now, if you would like help with any of this, then you can always reach out to me and book a strategy call. If you are an entrepreneur who has a burning desire to achieve more, to be more, to build a soul-aligned business that feeds your soul and helps you to achieve the wealth and the freedom that you truly desire and deserve, then just book a strategy call with me and I will talk with you about where you're at right now, where you want to get to, and help you to build a strategy that will help you get there. And then we can talk about whether any of my coaching programs are aligned with what it is that you want to achieve. And remember, you have the ability to achieve any goal, any vision, any dream, no matter how big, but you must heal the shadow self. So I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, like and subscribe, comment below, let me know what your biggest takeaway is, and I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. Ciao for now.